Appreciate you having me. My name is Todd Mahooty. My given native name is Pueblo, which is white water, white river, depending upon which side of our Pueblo you're from. I am an enrolled tribal member at Taos, Pueblo in New Mexico, on the south side of the San Cristo Mountains, kind of central New Mexico. Although there are currently, I believe it's 574, 75 roughly, federally recognized tribes, I'm only an enrolled tribal member of one. So my comments moving forward won't represent the other 574, 73 nations out there. I can only speak for whom I know or whom I'm familiar with. Our elders were often chastised for their spiritual beliefs and who they were, their language, due to boarding schools. Obviously, the stereotypical term was kill the Indian, save the man, more of an assimilation. So I think, and this is only my personal belief, that carried itself down to generations where protective, they don't want their kids or grandchildren to be hurt or harmed in any way. So some of that stuff was kept close to the chest. Some of that stuff I do know, but will not share just out of respect for my elders who walked before me. So I think to understand a creation story, you would have to know our history and where we're from. Most of the ancient Puebloans and Anasazi come from Chaco Canyon, the New Mexico area, Four Corners. I believe that all solar knowledge, lunar knowledge comes from that. So it's not necessarily a religion where there's a book, written languages. It's more of a spirituality to where religion and spirituality walk hand in hand, although they never intersect. In a perfect marriage, I would assume. So the origin story really comes from where we come from and who we are. So the earth, the stars, and where we are in nature. So I've been removed from our community for several years, although my summers were spent with my families. So during those times, I was obviously ingrained in those communities. But what I do or practice regularly, one of my favorites is feeding. So before you eat, taking the first bite of everything that you have on your plating and setting it aside. What we do is offer that to the spirits and our ancestors that walk before us and pray for courage, protection, just to watch over us. That's probably my favorite practice that we continue today. Service to the community is an expectation. It's a responsibility. It's not necessarily a part of our spirituality. It's not necessarily a part of our religion, or it's just who we are. If you don't have and someone else does, we make sure that you are well. It's a community of love. It's a community of embracing who we are, helping one another, especially in times of need, hurt, hard times. I've never been around another community that's more connected in terms of family first and being in touch with one another. It's who we are. So in terms of giving back to community, it's more of an expectation and a responsibility of who you are as a person, a representative of your family, representative of the people that walk before you. There's not really anything that drives that from a spirituality standpoint. It's part of who we are.
Cultural.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that it's a misconception, stereotype that most natives worship the sun and worship the ground and worship the trees. And I think in terms of how I interpret it is it's more of our church than anything, and we're a part of it. Again, it's our responsibility and expectation that we protect it as much as possible. We're only here for a short time. The trees and the water and everything that we take for granted will be here long after we're gone. So I think the misconception is that we worship that, and that's not necessarily true. It's more that we work in cohesion with it, and we coexist and learn to appreciate what we have and what's here. In terms of religion, you can go to any Catholic church. I would say roughly 75 to 80% of our Pueblo is Catholic, Roman Catholic. But in terms of our religion or faith, again, as we spoke earlier, most of it is pretty close to the chest and guarded. But you can get tender nuggets through, obviously, Google. You can Google taospueblo.org. They'll have several different links about us, who we are. Some of the spirituality is not detailed, but it's glazed over a little bit, and will give you kind of a high-level view of what to expect. So you can Google it, really. That seems kind of I know it's a cop-out answer, but really and truly, it's you used to have to go to encyclopedias, and you don't have to do that anymore. So really at the palm of your hands.